And good morning. We've got His Eminence Archbishop Nikitas with us this morning, and he has had a very busy week. Your Eminence, just give us an introduction as to how your week has been. I saw on the website of the Archdiocese you're visiting some parishes and giving some support to some of the clerics. Can you just give us an outline? And I'll quickly zoom to the website of the Archdiocese to show people your program as well.
Well, you're actually correct. And first, let me start by saying good morning to you and to all those who are following us and are listening to us. The week has been hectic because, of course, I'm trying to visit, as you correctly said, several parishes to give encouragement, psychological, emotional, spiritual support to the clergy and to the people, to the various means that we can. But more importantly, I would say, is to pray. To pray for our community, to pray for this nation, this land, and to pray for the world, for God to send his healing grace. And besides the visits to the communities, we also have services here. We had services early this morning, the last pre-sanctified liturgy of the year, here at the Archdiocesan Chapel. And it's not only that, but there are the other needs and the activities. For example, we're working with the School of St. Cyprian, and we are delivering parcels of food to assist those in need, and augmenting and supplementing with fruits, vegetables, nappies, all sorts of things.
Yeah.
Because as a community and as a church, we have to help those who are in need.
Yeah. And in the cases of people that are in particular, dire straits, who are really struggling to get through, what should they do if they are part of a parish? Do we have any kind of plans that people can contact us maybe, or speak to some of the laity or the clerics to see if we can support them? Is there anything the Archdiocese?
Yes, we're very, very happy to help these people. I mean, excuse me for the expression, we're not an ATM machine to give cash to people. But we have parcels ready, and a family can, enjoy at least 1 week with what we have to offer. And they should either contact the parish leadership or the parish priest. If they can't do that, they can contact us here. But we do not have the means to deliver to homes. It's very difficult for us. That's why if the priest in the community and the community members are in need, it's easier for us to deliver a group, should we say, of packages of parcels, rather than trying to do individual things. And then the priest and the parish leadership can deliver those to the people.
Okay, so we are speaking on Holy Wednesday. What's your kind of message to Orthodox Christians and people watching us today on Holy Wednesday? What's going to be the essence of your kind of Easter message to people? I know it's a little bit early, but now you're with us. I know you've got a heavy schedule. If you want to kind of give us an intro into what the big themes are in your message.
Well, I think it's not my message. It's the message of the cross and the resurrection. It's the message of Christ, I have conquered the world. It's the message of Jesus when he said to his disciples, fear not and be of good cheer, that this too shall pass. And this virus, this sickness, this plague, whatever we want to call it, will indeed pass. And it's a message of encouragement to people to be patient. There are those who say, we want to go to church. I know that very well.
Yeah.
My first year as the Archbishop, I had waited to see full churches and to meet the people. However, God allows us sometimes opportunities to learn humility.
How do you feel? Sorry, just to interrupt you. How do you feel as an Archbishop going to a church and it being empty and not seeing a full, congregation? How does that make you feel?
I only have to look to the icons and know that the saints are present.
Right.
And the church is also filled with the angels. Right. And God is hearing my prayers. When people say to me, well, we wanted to go to church to pray, you can pray at home.
Yeah.
And the statement that people are saying, oh, this is the first time in history that all the churches are closed. It's not.
Mm.
We have to be very careful when we make references to historical events and situations.
Mm.
And I give you the situation, for example, of the Spanish flu. Churches in various parts of the world closed. Or if we remember the years of communism, what about those countries that couldn't buy a red egg for Pascha? No churches were serving. Maybe they were in underground ways, but the churches were closed to the people.
Yeah.
And in our case, even now, the churches are not closed only to the lay people, but for the clergy who are over 70 years old.
Yeah.
They should stay home. I repeat the message of the government: stay home, protect the NHS, save lives.
Exactly. So in terms of the next few days, which are kind of the peak days for us as Orthodox Christians, so no one, again, just to repeat that message, no one is to attempt to go to church tomorrow, Thursday, Holy Thursday, on Good Friday, or because there won't be allowed in, or it's, you know, yeah. So that we make that message clear to people, because I know there has been discussions amongst certain people that they're going to try and go to church on Good Friday and take communion and all this kind of stuff. I mean, you know, I've said to them, you're putting the priests in a difficult situation and the people that are there, you know, when there's clear instructions to remain at home and not to break, you know, the actual rules and the laws. So it puts us all in a difficult predicament. You know, what do you want to say to that, you know, Your Eminence? Do you want to just underline your warnings to them again? You want to say?
I said it earlier by reinforcing what the government has told us. And we are following the regulations, not only the Orthodox Christians, all the Christian community at large. And the other thing that I will tell people, number one, learn the virtue of obedience and the virtue of silence. For those of you who have access to the internet and whatever, you can follow the service. It is a perfect time for parents to sit with the children and say, do you see this? This is what's happening, and this is what's going on. The perfect time to follow the services and read the hymns so that you understand them, to be knowledgeable.
There's actually a wealth of knowledge out there. There's loads of material online. I'm just showing the website of the Archdiocese that people can visit and actually go into the live broadcast. There's a lot of parishes that are broadcasting live from the UK, and if they don't find the UK services in Greece, the United States, you know, globally, you can go on the internet and find links to those websites. So the excuse of, like, the reason I need to and I want to go to church for this particular year, the Archbishop is saying clearly, don't do that. You can find the resource and pray from home and still, you know, be close to God during these very spiritual and important times for us. Your Eminence, that's another question I wanted to ask you on your.
Add one thing to that, if you will allow me.
Yes, sir. Sorry.
The emergency does not depend on our personal presence in the church. The miracle of the resurrection and the truth of Christ is going to take place. It's not dependent on us.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you a very sensitive question. There's something on the website of the Archdiocese about when a prayer at home on the day of a funeral that you cannot attend, because I see that the Archdiocese has given practical guidance. Can you kind of just expand on that a little bit? Because I know there have been a lot of members of our own community who have sadly passed away, not due to Corona exclusively, but just, you know, passing away, and they've been, you know, they're not able to kind of have that funeral that they were expecting. What you know, what should they do during these times? You know, what guidance are you guys giving at the Archdiocese?
Well, if you look at the page, the pamphlet, or whatever we want to call it, it's nothing more than a few suggestions. First of all, to set the atmosphere, and that we do by either the candili, a candle, the censer, the things that are known to us and part of our religious tradition, the icons, especially that of the resurrection. And then we've given the people the prayers, the hymns. People will say to me, well, those belong to the priest.
Mm-hmm.
It's very funny that some people should say that, because when I'm in the church, of course, we hear the people chanting with us. They know these, but they know them, many of them know them in Greek.
Yeah.
So we're offering the people at least something to do at home.
Yeah.
They don't feel left out, so that they feel that they're offering something through prayer. And it's something that a family can do together once again.
Yeah.
And these measures are to safeguard the people. We don't want to see death. We don't want to see problems. We don't want to see panic amongst our people.
No.
We want to see stability.
Exactly. And the Archdiocese is providing online material to everybody who does want to visit, who does want to read up on these issues. So if you do go to the Archdiocese website, I'll send the link out. It's Thyatira, spelled THYATEI.org.uk, and you can find all the information on there. What are your plans for this week, Your Eminence? What are you? I mean, which parishes are you visiting?
Well,
where where are you spending Easter this year? Where are you going to be? So we can.
I, as the Archbishop, have the responsibility not only to celebrate the services, but also to pray for my flock.
Yeah.
And I will be in the churches praying, as well as my private prayer. But for the main services, which are Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Holy Thursday evening, I'll be with Father Iosif, Father Joseph, at the community of the 12 Apostles, Τον Αγίων Αποστόλων.
In Hatfield, yeah.
And Holy Friday evening, I'll be at Hagia Sophia, but the service there is at 5 p.m. It's early.
Right.
And Holy Saturday morning, I'll be serving, and Father, of course, Theonas at Hagia Sophia, and Father Nifon, who's with him there now. And I didn't want to leave out Father Dimitrianos, from the Church of the Apostles. But Holy Saturday morning at the church with Father Christopoulos in the parish of the birth of the Theotokos, the Gennesio της Theotokou.
Right.
And the Anastasi returning to Hagia Sophia with Fathers Theonas, Father Nifon, Father Nikodimos from the Archdiocese, the Archdeacon, and of course the chanters who will be there. And we will be praying for the people.
Yeah.
People say to me, well, what about the Agio Phos? The light of Christ is not a flame just from the church. The light of Christ dispels all darkness, as we read in Scripture. And that light, that flame must be in people's hearts and burning each and every day. And if you cannot get the Phos now, and your salvation does not depend on that, you can take it at some other time.
Yeah. So for those who have been following and we spoke about this in our first interview, that for those who have been following Lent and been fasting, they can take their communion at a later stage. It doesn't, it's not the end of the world. They don't break their fast, by taking communion on Holy Thursday or Saturday morning or after the Anastasia has been proclaimed. Is that the general guidance? Is when we get back to our churches, we should just take our communion during a Sunday liturgy? Is that what you're advising?
We have the examples, for example, St. Mary of Egypt. For over 45 years, she didn't receive communion. What about the people in the communist countries where the churches were closed for years who received no communion?
Yeah.
What about the people who receive an epitimion, a penance, and are told not to receive communion for 5 years?
Right.
So salvation does not depend on Holy Communion. First of all, you have to believe. And you have to believe in the fullness of the faith and in Jesus Christ. It's not just some magic that we wave. The other point that I wanted to mention is people ask about Holy Unction, Eucherion.
Yeah.
It doesn't even belong to the Holy Week services.
Right.
It's an addition that we've placed in.
Right.
If you look at the typicon, the rubrics of the church, the teriodion, the eucharion isn't there.
Right. Okay.
Much later edition.
Just in closing, Your Eminence, I know you've got a very busy schedule today. What are your final comments you want to make to our viewers? We've got a question about taking communion. There's again another issue there. They're questioning: is it a high risk? Is it risky for people to take Holy Communion when we go back to our churches? Can you just explain that to people about the whole ethos behind Koinonia and about the issues there?
Well, first of all, I'm not going to speak as a scientist. I'm going to speak as a clergyman.
Yes.
And first and foremost, it's in my faith and my belief to believe that that is the body and the blood of Jesus Christ, and itself does not transmit anything.
Yeah.
However, if the priest is the one who has the virus, even though he may not have the symptoms,
Mm-hmm.
or the person behind you or next to you, or the handles which you grab, or the money which you handle, you contact the virus through that.
Mm-hmm.
That's another issue.
Yeah.
It's a matter of faith.
Mm.
But we're asking people to stay away and to stay at home, to protect the NHS, to help save lives by keeping a safe distance, social distancing.
Mm.
So we don't cough on one another, we don't shake hands. Even here at the Archdiocese, we have a sign for anyone who enters, and we have almost no visitors.
Huh.
All visitors are asked to please go wash their hands. And we have antibacterial soap.
Yeah.
And other formulas. So we need to be careful. It's an issue of faith when it comes to communion.
Absolutely.
Nothing more, nothing less.
Your Eminence, I wish you strength. I wish you all the best wishes of Easter, the Anastasis. We appreciate greatly that you've spent time with us to speak to us on these small YouTube interviews. They're going to be sent out to lots of people who don't normally listen to you. They're going to hear your views. And when this is all over, we hope, to keep speaking to you. There's a lot of people who do want to engage with you and be close to you and support you in your work. So we appreciate greatly what you're doing, and we are next to you in your mission. So we support you.
Thank you for this opportunity. And I'm speaking now to the younger generation. And I'm speaking to you in, I think, the language you understand best, even though I have the American accent. The church is yours. It's ours. Don't lose faith. Don't lose hope. Believe in the truth and in the message of Jesus Christ. When he greeted his disciples after the resurrection, because they were behind closed doors, he came and said, "Peace be with you." I say the same thing to you. Peace be with you. Be at peace of heart and be at peace of mind. Have hope. Pray as a family. Celebrate the Anastasi. Dies. Sing Christos Anesti. Do it as a unit and share and have love at the table. Have Jesus Christ. Because wherever 2 and 3 are gathered in his name, he will be present.
Yeah.
And let him be present not only in your home, but also in your hearts. And pray that God will indeed be merciful on our world. Pray for the Prime Minister. And it's not a political issue. Pray for the Queen. Pray for those who govern and all the elected officials. Pray for the Orthodox throughout the world, on Cyprus, in Greece, in Serbia, Romania, Russia, everywhere in the United States. Pray for the non-Orthodox. Those people also have families and children. And let God guide us to better days. Καλή Ανάσταση, καλό Πάσχα.
Amen. Σεβασμιότατε, να είσαι καλά. Καλή Ανάσταση. Ευχαριστούμε πολύ. Να είσαι καλά.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was His Eminence Archbishop Nikitas speaking to me, giving us his prayers. We pray we should all have him in our prayers to keep strong and healthy during this time of leadership. We need his leadership and guidance, which he's giving us, and we're next to him to support him in his mission. Thank you, everyone, for the messages and all the viewings. And we are broadcasting again very soon in about 45 minutes. Thank you.